Over the weekend, Americans were really thrown for a loop. We were all under the impression that TikTok was about to get banned in the US, but Trump swooped in to save the day. He gave them an extension to sell to a US company. So for the time being, TikTok is still in the hands of Americans for better or for worse. They initially gave people this notice on the app that said, a law banning TikTok has been enacted in the US. Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok for now. We're fortunate that President Trump has indicated he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned. Merely hours later, you would get this notice saying, thanks for your patience and support. As a result of President Trump's effort, TikTok is back in the US. You can continue to create, share, and discover all the things you love on TikTok. So I guess this means that Gen Z is going to win the good graces. Trump has won over a significant portion of Gen Z. This includes, first of all, one Gen Z icon named James Charles, who I thought was a beauty influencer, but he's branching out and making political content now.
Here we go.
I gotta keep it real. I am crashing the fuck out right now. I don't know what to do. Oh my God. I've already opened and closed the app probably 6 times already just to keep getting the same stupid warning message. Oh my God. Like this just this is so dystopian. First of all, I feel pathetic that I am freaking out like this over an application being unavailable on my phone.
You should feel
but
that
also
way.
like this has been a massive part of our lives for the last 6 years. And normally when something happens, I would get on TikTok and start complaining, and I can't even do that. I
said, isn't it ironic that the greatest crying on camera video that one could ever make for TikTok would be about TikTok being closed, therefore you can't actually make it? I was like sitting around, I was like kicking that idea around in my head, and I was thinking of all of the really, really clever X users who would be able to say that in a really, really funny way. But I'm just not funny.
To drafts.
Like I'm just not funny like that. But it is ironic.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
Yeah.
feel like disconnected. I feel cut off from the world and my community.
Got any of that TikTok, man?
God, and I can't, like, now I'm rooting for Trump? Ew! God, like, make America fucking great again, I guess. God.
It's very hard to believe in that the guy's a fascist when that's all it takes to sway you.
You know, I kind of saw this coming for James Charles particularly for a while now because his own following hates his guts already.
Really? Why?
Because he's just had scandal after scandal for years now, and nobody likes him anymore. They just follow him because it's a clown show.
And he
has nothing left to lose. Might as well just go full MAGA.
Well, there's nothing the right likes more than to take the left.
The dregs.
The dregs. Like, I always like the cut of that guy's jib.
Exactly.
I pointed out yesterday, I think, and I'm not 110% sure, that when Trump was, because a lot of people like to point out that Trump wanted to ban TikTok too. I believe that was just for government phones. He didn't want people with government phones to have access to TikTok because it was a security risk. I don't believe that was a nationwide ban. I could be wrong, but I don't think it was.
Yeah, Trump posted to Truth Social, I'm asking companies not to let TikTok stay dark. I'll issue an executive order on Monday to extend the period of time before the law's prohibitions take effect. And that's exactly what he followed through and did. I'm just not sure it's really for the best of Gen Z's mental health, if we're being honest.
To keep it around?
We needed to cut that umbilical cord. I was really hoping there would be like that final moment where it really sets in. You know, they didn't go through all the stages of grief.
Well, no, and then the thing is once you get through the worst part of the withdrawal, there's a bit of clarity there, but
and it never came.
Yeah,
they
a big super
got
chat
their
there.
fix. Just Because I'm Free said the whole TikTok thing was a bad move because of the fact it's spyware, but it was an interesting political move by Trump. TikTok is crack for the kids, but still TikTok should be banned.
Look, I would love to see some very, very gifted political commentators on both sides of the issue have a debate on this. I am not one of them. I am not smart. But
purely from a selfish perspective, though, I want TikTok to get banned permanently because I haven't been allowed on the app for like 3
Yeah.
years
She's like, if I
now.
can't have it, you guys can't have it either.
That's why I felt
I did see
nothing
your tweet. I did
this
see your
entire
tweet. You
time.
said, what was it like? I got banned for this. You got banned for.
Like they got banned for 12 hours, if that. And I have been banned on TikTok for 3 years now. How do you think I feel?
You're like, we are not the same.
We are simply not the same. I'm built different, okay? But in the meantime, obviously, while TikTok is coming back online for Americans, they're still going to these alternatives, including Rednote. And I saw some really interesting, disheartening develops happening on Rednote over the weekend.
What radicalized you?
Yeah, this first off, this is the one I find way more interesting than anything political.
Hold, please.
Thank you. Is that our third part?
Third.
Thank
Let's
you.
get to 5. 5 today.
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
Okay. So, this person on X says, American women on Rednote are already triggering a gender war in China. Chinese men on Rednote are thirsting after American women ceaselessly. It's actually kind of pathetic, but here, you know, American women are doing the same thing that they were doing on TikTok, posting thirst traps. Here were some of the comments translated from Chinese on Rednote. After seeing foreign girls, I'm no longer interested in domestic ones. Here was another set of comments. You're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. I'll swim across the Pacific Ocean to find you. Another one said, after watching foreign girls for a few days, my taste has surprisingly changed. Another one said, I love your gray outfit so much. Can you please send it to me without washing it? That is not going to make it through customs, bro. No.
Send it via DHL.
Another one said, I don't know if it's a bit immoral to have so many heart flutters in a single day. What should we do? What should I do if I like all 3 and want to have them very much? What should we do? I annoyed.
Wasn't there like a story where like, and I think it was proven as like fake, where like Elon got Starlink to some remote tribe and they immediately started downloading porn.
That was real. That was
I thought
actually
that was,
real.
I thought that was fake.
Another comment said, I dare not continue scrolling. I've been staying up late for 2 days now, and there are too many foreign girls to keep up with. And then another one, this made me laugh. I will hold my breath until you reply me.
Don't do that. You could be holding your breath for a long time.
And this is the worst. Sorry, but I did something bad to your video as a way of stress relief. This just being translated from Mandarin is so funny to me.
See, and here's the thing, guys. Selfishly, I want TikTok to stay around because it makes my job infinitely easier.
They were writing straight up sonnets. One person said, first time seeing you, it's as if the stars have poured down onto the earth. Your radiance captivates me, completely ensnaring my heart and soul. As an American woman, your beauty is unparalleled. Your gorgeous hair shines like the brilliant sun, flowing with an enchanting luster as smooth as if you've used Head and Shoulders. Your eyes are like black holes in the Milky Way, filled with endless mystery and allure, trapping me hopelessly with just one glance. Your demeanor is elegant and noble, walking as if a gentle breeze caresses willow branches, light and graceful. Every frown and smile of yours exudes a unique charm, just like blossoming flowers in spring, spreading fragrance everywhere, making everything around fade.
See, here's the problem with that. Is like, just to give the guy a little bit of advice, is like, when you write that, right? What she's gonna do is she's not going to be able to respond because she can't be like, thanks.
Well, she would need to go to Google Translate and put thanks into the Mandarin.
She can't just
translator.
say thanks because it seems unfair to respond to such a long and lengthy message with just one word, especially when it's a sonnet, right? So you're actually going to give her like paralyzing decision anxiety on how to respond. You have to use less characters if you're going to try and get her attention, lest she just move on and not respond.
I saw another hilarious one. I am a male, extremely loyal and deeply affectionate, very, very clingy. I want to find someone who is deeply affectionate, possessive, jealous, good at acting cute, loves to cry, has a romantic mindset, replies messages instantly, not necessarily, but will reply when seen, has a clean social circle, not fleeting interest. And you leave a message and I'll add you, may not reply instantly, can text with one hand while eating, emotionally stable, no violent tendencies, physically sound, independently breathing since childhood, can recite a multiplication table, has a clean social circle, he repeats, knows to run home when it rains, wears clothes when cold, eats when hungry, even reports seeing a stray dog, looking for a girlfriend who is active, and it just keeps going and going. The Chinese men have a severe loneliness epidemic going on
Well,
here.
you know, who needs one of those boyfriend applications when they fill it out themselves?
The CIA couldn't have dreamed up a one-shotting as effective as sending thousands of American girls to Rednote.
Yeah.
The thirsting is insane. It's out of control. So all of these Chinese men are going to get their passports ready and fly over to the U.S. to find girlfriends.
As the American guys are on their way to Taiwan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're going to fly to the U.S. for their girlfriends, and then the American guys are going to fly to, you know, Thailand, Japan, Eastern Europe, maybe, to find their girlfriends.
Yeah.
And the world will find its balance again.
Globalists win again, ladies and gentlemen. The globalists always win.
Yeah, I feel like the Chinese users on Rednote were better off just having their own insular environment.
Yeah.
And mixing these groups together with the TikTok refugees wasn't the best idea. Especially once you see the political consequences. Gen Z went to Rednote and just immediately became socialists.
I mean, they were probably already socialists, but they became
But this like really radicalized them to a degree that maybe wasn't possible before.
For my Chinese friend, I just want to tell you some discussions Americans are having right now. All of us agree and are astounded at how cheap and affordable your groceries, housing, and cars are. I have been watching you guys' grocery haul videos, and it is blowing my mind. America could never. A lot of us also cannot believe how advanced your country is, because we were always shown and told that you guys were a third world, like, starving country. That's just not the case. The fact that 95% of you
You
guys...
actually think for a moment about there's a reason why so many American goods are produced in China, but then the same person would have an issue with labor violations and stuff. Like, they haven't thought it through quite yet to its logical conclusion. You know, for the people who believe that everything is a human right, they're not really thinking it through. But I give them, I'll give them a pass. They're just finding out about this stuff now. Maybe she'll come around and realize that it's not all what it seems to be.
Guys own homes is mind-boggling. It is, like, seriously almost impossible to own a home anywhere in the U.S. You have to work immensely hard. How about y'all's law school is like $800 a year, and I think that your homeless rate is like 0.18%.
It's because it's illegal to be homeless there.
Yeah.
And the people who are mentally ill aren't allowed to just sit out on the streets via the freedom that you're given here in the United States. They're locked up someplace not nice.
I have people living outside of tents outside of my building. Like, it's terrible here.
Yes, that's freedom.
I saw somebody say earlier that a cancer medication that they get is about $20 in China, and they are paying $22,000 a month in the U.S. for that same medication. What? A lot of you guys were also thinking that
The social credit score will deem whether you're allowed to have that medication or not.
it's propaganda, that our kids sometimes, if they can afford it and their parents want to, will put them in a bulletproof, like, backpack to go to school. They also do stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance every single day before class starts. This whole experience...
You're not allowed to not, show your loyalty to China if you live there. So That's
Also, if she wanted to move there, they would be like, we don't want you.
Experience might just be
like you haven't seen real racism yet until you see racism outside of the United States.
No.
the most awake and united I think I've ever seen this country. We are pissed at our government, number one. Number two, astounded. Absolutely astounded.
Go and find out how the Muslim population feels in China.
Americans are quickly realizing that the U.S. is not a first world country after spending a little time watching the lifestyles of Chinese on Rednote. One creator on Rednote said Americans think they're free because they get to have opinions, but they don't get to have choices.
Also, I don't think they have actual property rights in China because the Chinese government owns everything.
That's kind of the whole point of communism.
Yes.
Here was another American getting awakened to the lies being spread about China.
The government has been lying to us about China for decades. Now that we've all gotten on Rednote and we can see the lifestyle that all of the Chinese people have, a lot of us Americans are fucking pissed.
Okay, so one thing I think is interesting is like, would they say the same? So if you go on Instagram and you want to look at the lifestyles of Americans, you're not going to see somebody living their 9-to-5 life. You're going to see travel influencers.
Oh, for
You're-
sure,
You're
yeah.
not going to see the life of the average everyday American. So anybody who's using a social media facsimile of real life as your guide as to whether a place is good or not means that I have a bridge to sell you somewhere.
The price of
Yeah.
going out to eat, the price of groceries, public transportation. And the people on Rednote are so fucking flabbergasted that we have to work 2 jobs just to keep our roof over our head. US government, you fucked up big time, which is not a surprise because you do it constantly. Even if
I have no critique on that. That is true.
TikTok gets banned, I've seen enough. I have been woken up. I grew up fed propaganda that China is evil and that they treat their citizens like shit. I mean, I was raised by MAGA. It's the main reason why I feel so radicalized. American culture, American society is toxic, gross, poisonous. They poison our food. They jack the prices up of everything. We don't get health care. We don't get good public transportation, even though we're all on the same fucking continent. We destroy the planet for money.
The size of this country is enormous. I just found out yesterday that the state I grew up in, the state of Minnesota, is just a little bit smaller than the entirety of the UK.
Yeah, I mean, North Carolina is bigger than England itself.
Yes.
It's a big country. But aside from any of the real reasons why Chinese lifestyles look different than American lifestyles, we don't even need to get into the weeds on that. Yeah. Because you can look at different countries that aren't communists that also have a higher standard of living. Japan is one of them. Mm-hmm. The issue is that leftists with septum rings they're not okay with the sacrifices that must be made for cleanliness and security.
Meaning
most of the time.
You mean like harsh law?
Yes.
Yeah.
They want all the benefits with none of the drawbacks.
They're
not making the connection.
You want to be able to litter while not understanding that the reason it looks so clean is because you'll get into very, very deep trouble for littering.
Right.
I hate to use that horrible phrase that everybody keeps using in these situations, like, this is what you voted for.
Well, yeah. But another thing that really interests me about Chinese culture is that they're so focused on appearances. So it makes sense to me that the appearance of a Chinese lifestyle on social media would look a lot different to what is really experienced by people in the country.
Yeah.
They're known for having severe infrastructure shortcomings that are merely hidden until disaster arises.
Yeah.
So they have a very about face culture.
Yeah.
And Japan also, it has a very shame oriented culture.
And there is no shame here in America.
Yeah. It's just, again, they are not willing to meet in the middle to have any of those benefits.
She could go there and work at a Shein factory.
Right. You know what? They should move. They should move and just get out. I would love for them to see how they like it there.
Yeah. It's but again,
call us in 2 years and tell us what you think after you live in China for a while.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.